Hello, everybody. How are you? I'm so excited to be here with my dear friend, Shana. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good.
You might know Shana as the nutrition tea across social media because I feel like I get dietitian nutrition tea from her every single day, which I absolutely love. And I'm so excited. And actually, I have your book as a part of as a part of my stack
Oh my
helping me.
gosh. Yay!
Check out her book if you haven't already. It's like a really easy read and something that will super help you if you're on the journey to figure out what the heck do we eat and also
Mm.
stay nourished. So, making peace with food, which I love, is a part of the first part of the subtitle. So, check that out
Oh, thank
and
you.
thank you. Yeah, oh my God, of course, of course. And thank you for being here with us and spending
Yes.
some time with us today.
Yes, I'm so excited. I was like so glad that you even asked. It's like,
Oh
oh,
my God, of course. Of course. I genuinely you're one of the few people I try to stay off social media, as you and I have talked about
same.
when we went out to dinner, like, we try to stay off, but of course we have to do it sometimes for work and all that, and there are a lot of good connections through work that come out of it, which I do really appreciate, but you're one of the few people that I'm always like, "What's Shauna doing? What's going on? What is she posting? What's happening?" You know? So I really, just appreciate everything that you share, and I know we're sharing this Truth Talks episode on my Substack, but Shauna has an amazing Substack too, so I'll be sure to link everything below, and you can check her out there and follow along, subscribe, all that good stuff, because you're just going to get so much good information. And today we are doing this amazing series that we were just kind of talking about before I hit record, just for people to feel like they have a little bit of a touch point throughout the end of the year, the last several weeks of the year, and just feeling like they're not in it alone. Cause I feel like it's such a challenging time and just a time that even if it's not like bad challenging, it just feels like it's relentless a
Mm.
bit. Have you ever experienced that around this time, or what's your relationship with the end of the year?
Yeah, that's actually that's that's actually the perfect word for it. I was like, "Oh, yes, relentless." Exactly, because I feel like if there's not something happening, like if you're not expecting it, it will just come, right? Like you said, relentless. It just comes out of nowhere. And I think this time is always stressful because,
Yeah.
the holiday season is coming up and so it's just a lot of feelings and I'm a dietitian, so especially around food,
Oh
people
my
start having feelings towards that and seeing family and with everything else going on in the world, it really does feel like if it's not one thing, it's another. So it's tough to navigate.
God.
So, yeah, just finding ways to take care of ourselves can be hard. Yeah.
Be so hard, and I didn't even make that connection, which is kind of silly because you do the work that you do, but I was like, "Oh, yeah, food and this time of year is just so intense," and I feel like especially if you're someone who really struggles with emotional eating or stress eating or, maybe that's the same thing, or
Mhm.
there's so many people who struggle with eating disorders and don't always know that they're dealing with that. There's so many nuances to that. And I know for folks in my community who are chronically ill, like food can just be so triggering because it feels like, what can I even eat? Or I
Mhm.
can't enjoy time with the people that I love because I can't eat anything and all this emotion that comes up around it. So, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, today I want to specifically ask you two questions that are part of this series because I want people to understand a little bit about what the people that they look up to and are listening to and following, what they're navigating, because I think it's helpful. And I wanted to ask you, what is it that you are going to be leaving behind in 2025? What are you letting go of and releasing in 2025?
Ooh. So I personally am always working on saying no. And I know that I and I think I say this every year, but I am really trying my best because I'm noticing I'm getting burnt out. more easily, right? And I think it's because I feel so obligated to take on so much. And I'm beginning to kind of realize I am just one person, So I can't just take on all the things. And so I'm really working on, you know, boundaries. I know that you talk about that quite a bit as well. And just really saying, no, I can't. And I know that people say, well, no is a complete sentence. And that applies in some scenarios and not, you can't really say that with every scenario. However, I'm really just working on knowing my limits. I'll say that. And really trying to set some limits and really take that into the new year because I think I say that every I say that every year, but this time I'm really
Yeah.
noticing that I've reached capacity because I'm not honoring that. So I really am honoring that next year. Actually, I'm starting now, but it
You're
will it
starting
will carry through. Yeah.
I feel that for you. And you know what? I think it's really good that you're, first of all, I appreciate that you're just like outing yourself. Like I say this every year, guys, but
I
like this
do.
is going to be different. I think that's first of all so real because how many of us have those things that we say every year, like, okay, this is the year. And I also think around saying no specifically, oh my gosh, it's so layered. People talk about it like it's just like you said, like no is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
And there's like family dynamics ingrained in there. There's also like the work that you do as a dietitian. I know you're so passionate, especially about getting these resources to underserved communities.
Mhm.
Like there's always someone to help and that needs help. And when you are a genuine person, like
Yeah.
trying to make sure people really get the information and the support. Oh my God. I know for me, for sure, I've
Yeah.
had such a hard time being like, sorry, I can't do it all. I can't help every person or I can't show up to every single thing. And it's not because you don't have, you don't want to or you don't, have the best intentions, but it's just like, yeah, we have to start really putting ourselves first a bit, which is like, especially as women of color, as women in
Mhm.
general, like it's just, there's a lot of layers.
Yeah.
So
It's
I don't
hard.
blame you for having to say it every year.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I'm like, this year it'll be different. No, but seriously, this year will be will be different. It's
Yeah.
hard because no one, what good is it being burnt out or,
Mhm.
tired or that could also trigger some, chronic illness as well.
Totally.
So it doesn't really help anybody. So that's why I'm really trying to be better about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think in my interpretation of this journey for you, I feel like each year you've said it, it's been another layer. And this is
Yes.
just like a final layer. You're ready to just like really put it to rest. So
Exactly.
maybe we'll do this next year and I'll find out like what happened after a
I'll
year.
keep you updated.
Okay. Yes, please keep me updated. I want to know. And I also want to know, with that in mind, what are you calling in for 2026? And it doesn't have to be a grandiose thing. You don't have to have it all figured out.
Mhm.
But is there even just like an essence or an energy or like a curiosity about something you want to call in for 2026?
Yeah, I think just really, I think it, I was thinking about this the other day and sort of how to word this. So I'm going to try to say it in a way that hopefully other people will understand and maybe relate to. I think for a while, I think this is also due to me like wanting to do all the things and not being able to. I think really trying to focus on letting things be. Right? Because sometimes I feel like when
Mhm.
I'm too stagnant and I'm not doing enough things or I'm not going to enough conferences, I'm not, you know, volunteering enough, sometimes I'm thinking, okay, there's this weird feeling of maybe I'm resting too much, which is a problem, right? And I think that also ties into the first part of that question. And
Yeah.
so I think I'm really trying to just let myself be and
Mm.
not really and say that you know what, maybe I'm not as busy as I was a year ago or 2 years ago. Maybe I'm not doing the things that I envision, but that doesn't mean that my work is any less than, right? Or that I'm not working as hard, So sometimes it's sort of hard to sort of sit in that discomfort because I also do unfortunately compare. I play the little compare game. And that's another thing that I'm working on. I have a list. I have a list of things that I'm working on. But I think just really letting myself be.
Mhm.
Hopefully that makes sense. Just like really
Oh,
just
yeah.
yeah, I think that it's such a mental thing, like a mental state where you just want to feel like you're doing all of these things. And sometimes you have to sit back and say, maybe this is happening for a reason. Like,
Mhm.
let me just be, So I think that's also, yeah, that's my affirmation for next year.
I love that so much, and I really do think like, one of my favorite books is The Power of Now by
Mm,
Eckhart Tolle, and I go back to that book again and again and again and again, and it's usually in those moments where I'm like, "This is supposed to be different. Like,
mhm,
what the heck is going on?"
mhm.
Like, and
Exactly.
I'm irritated and I'm frustrated, and then I get scared and I go into, like, fight or flight and all these things, and it's just like a real trickle down effect of all the habits that start to seep in and all of that. And so I listen to that book so often because I feel like every month there's like a new thing that's testing my patience
Exactly.
around,
Yeah,
like
it's
around just
relentless.
letting it be.
Yes.
Yeah, it's relentless. Exactly. It's relentless. And yeah, just that letting it be, that's so the opposite of what we have been taught. And both of us, living in New York, or both in Brooklyn,
Mhm.
it is not the vibe. It is like
It definitely is not.
you gotta do more, do more, do more. Otherwise, you're not doing anything. And
Mhm.
so I feel like we deserve extra points from whoever is giving them out because to do this in a busy city or to do this as an entrepreneur, to do this as a parent, to do this while you're juggling extra things, I think is really a task that is just so challenging sometimes.
Totally. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. And I'm saying like we meaning like society in
Yeah.
general. Like we, especially as women, I feel as though sometimes I think that we're sort of taught, not even consciously, from a young
Mhm.
age that we're responsible for all of these things, right? And to help others and to do all these different things. And sometimes we kind of put ourselves last. And, like I said, it doesn't even have to be a conscious teaching
Mhm.
because, it just comes from society, it comes from sometimes family. And so now having to kind of rework that mentality, it's hard. And I think that's why it's such a struggle. So I think about that a lot. Think about that a lot, trying to undo all of that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I do think it's true that we don't give ourselves too much credit. I know for myself, I've had to really notice like this habit of I achieve something or like let's say I get like an email I've been waiting for or like something that's like really good news. Like I just did this like an hour ago, which is why it's so top of mind. But like I got like good news about something that
Yay.
it yeah, is not like a small thing,
Mhm.
and the next thought like, at first I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy I could cry," and then I was like, "Wait, but did you hear from that other person that, like, hasn't gotten back
Mhm.
to you with this thing?" It's like a habit of, like, cutting myself down in this way, and, yeah, no one is gonna stop that except for us, like, we're the ones that have to stop doing that, so I
Exactly.
love that you're calling that in for 2026. I will as your friend, I will be there right alongside you, learning the same things, holding each other accountable. I'm
Yeah.
so, so, so honored to be on the journey with you. And yeah, thanks for spending time with us today. And as I mentioned to all of you before, get Shauna's book. It is
Yes.
amazing. And it's just also, I saw a lot of people on your social media, like they've gifted it to people too. So for the holidays, if you know somebody's on like a journey with their health, with their nutrition, this is really great. So,
Oh, thank
love
you.
that, and thank you for being here with us. It's
Yes,
just
definitely.
always such a pleasure to see your beautiful face and get to know
Aw,
your
thank
essence.
you. Well, thank you for inviting me too.